This is the DJI Osmo 360, and this right here is the Insta 360 X5. DJI just released their brand new 360 camera that is jam-packed with a ton of tech. So today we're going to compare it to the current leader of the 360 cameras, because according to the stats, the Osmo 360 should demolish the Insta 360. So let's test that out. We're going to be testing them on my beautiful M1000RR. We have the 360 POV, where we're going to put both cameras to the test, 360 with what they're capable of, but also we're going to test them in the single lens mode, because we all want a camera that can do it all, and that's what I'm testing. I'm not just testing their 360 capability, I'm testing that because that's the standard, of course, but also their single lens and how usable these cameras are in all scenarios. We're going to be testing low light, we're going to be testing their 360 capabilities as well as their single lens capabilities. Now let's warm up the beast. What is going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. We are in beautiful Los Angeles. As someone that doesn't really use 360 cameras as much, mainly because of what 360 cameras are capable of, simply didn't meet my standards of usage. It's not the fact that I don't want to use 360 footage, it's the fact that the technology currently wasn't up to standard. And now with this new camera, this is the second video I'm making with it, it has most definitely changed my mind with all the new features that DJI has added into this awesome 360 camera. I honestly can't believe that this is DJI's first 360 camera, and it's already better than everything out there. I'm here to show you guys firsthand the difference between the two cameras. I am currently rocking the Osmo 360 and I'm shooting in the single lens mode because this is most of my shots. Most of my shots is me riding my motorcycle and shooting in a single lens mode. Before we start showing you guys the side-to-side comparisons, I'd like to elaborate on what I started with and why this camera has changed my mind about 360 cameras. For me, someone that films a lot and wants something that is very easy to use, convenient, this camera uses the same magnetic mounts as the Action 5, as the action cameras. And since the Action 5 Pro is my camera of choice that I've been using for ever since it came out, pretty much, literally every single week, multiple times a week, and absolutely love that camera, never failed me. I already have a system, I already have a bunch of batteries, I already have my setup, my mounts and all that, which we talked about in the last video, which is more of an in-depth review about the Osmo 360. So if you'd like to see, you know, my helmet setup and in-depth review, go check out that video because it's very helpful and informative, especially if you're someone that is just getting started and you really want to, you know, copy my setup, because I've been doing this for many years now, 4 years to be specific. So, you know what I mean, I've played with so many setups and so many different cameras. I've tested it all pretty much. And this setup is the most convenient for me, and it's also the most usable setup. Like I said, I have some priorities, one of them being reliability. I'm out here riding and nothing is scripted, everything is real. So I would like to capture as much as I can without the camera failing on me. That includes having a better battery life, because I used to use GoPros and I'm not gonna lie, the battery life is not the best at all with those. I used to always have problems, and the true fans of this channel know that I used to have problems with that. All the OGs, they definitely have heard enough of me complaining about my battery dying, and I always didn't like carrying extra batteries because I always went flying, because I don't really like wearing a backpack, because like I said, I'm kind of efficient and I want to get something, attach it to my already mounted setup, just a magnetic mount, clip it in, set and ready to go. I have my DJI Lav mic and that's all I need, you know, just clip it in, plug the mic in, and I'm good to go. So like I was saying, convenience is one of my biggest things. This camera is interchangeable with both the DJI Action 5 Pro's magnetic release mounts as well as the batteries. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you heard me right, it is interchangeable with the batteries. So now I have a ton of batteries I can use for both my Action 5 Pro and for my Osmo 360. Los Angeles, here we come. Well, we're in Los Angeles, where we're heading towards Hollywood, and I figured, you know, we're in LA, let's go to the Hollywood sign, show you guys the Hollywood sign. Alright, back to the stats, since we're back in traffic. Convenience is number one. The fact that they have that ecosystem of interchangeable parts, huge plus. Thirdly, is that even a word? I'm making it a word right now. Third, this camera is also able to connect to not one, but two DJI wireless mics and capture amazing audio for a lot of stuff. Like I said, my biggest thing is convenience, so that's why I use the DJI lav mic, which is just tucked in behind my cheek pad in the helmet. If you would like to do a setup where I give him one of the mics, give me one of the mics, and then that way you can hear both of us. Another idea would be to, which is something that I've done actually before, is to put one of the mics in the helmet, and then the second mic put it either in my pocket or close to the exhaust, so you capture a more true raw audio of the beautiful M1000RR. Does not stop there. This camera has a better battery life, shooting at max resolution, even though the max resolution is higher than all the other competitors. So you get better resolution and longer battery life, and guess what? Internal storage. I never paid too much attention to internal storage because it's kind of like one of those things like just go buy an SD card and plug it in, and I still prefer doing that. But like I said, convenience and the fact that, like, hey, say in a situation I ran out of storage and I'm out filming, which has happened to me actually. I forgot to back up some of my old videos and I had more videos in the camera that I forgot to clear and my storage ran out. Guess what? I'm out of luck. Now that is not going to happen because I have a safety backup internal storage, which the Action 5 did have. But this camera took it to a whole new level. The internal storage, drum roll, is 105 gigabytes. This is pretty much full storage. Believe it or not, I don't even have an SD card on here. Figured that that is actually plenty enough to film a review video. So I'm not even running an SD card at all, and I'm completely using this camera straight out of the box. Another big thing that you guys might be wondering about, which is I feel like the main topic of all cameras, is the quality. This camera is capable of shooting, thanks to their square 1-inch sensor, panoramic videos at 8K 50 frames per second. So when you're doing activities like this, you don't have to shoot 360 footage anymore that looks a little choppy. You can shoot 50 frames per second, export it at 60 frames per second, and I bet you that almost nobody is going to tell the difference. This camera is also capable of shooting 4K 120 frames per second if you really want slow-mo, but that's in the single lens mode. Still an upgrade from the other competitors though. Another really important factor, especially for motovloggers like myself, is that you can see the X5, the shape of the camera is long, so therefore if I'm mounting it exactly how I'm mounting this camera, it's going to stick out way too far, which I've done in the past, and it just kind of starts blocking my field of view. This is just perfectly, it peaks a little bit, I can see it, but there's no way where it's actually blocking your view. I'd way rather have a slightly wider camera than a longer camera for this purpose specifically, because, you know, I don't want the camera to kind of be in the way of my field of view. So this shape is more ideal for what I do. Another reason for that is because if the camera is long and the wind is hitting it, physics, the camera is going to get pushed a little bit more and more because it's held by these like arms that are mounted at a very specific angle to get the perfect shot. Anyways, that was a little side quest talk about, you know, the angle and all that, because there's so many little details when you start doing this and recording a lot that you start to understand and know, just like all things you need to consider when using these cameras, because those little things, you know, having the right angle, having a slightly better battery life, having slightly better quality, they all matter a lot, and it really makes or breaks your videos. There's so many times I choose my thumbnails directly from my videos. There's so many times that I wish I had a slightly like wider or, you know, more view or more freedom in choosing my clip, so I can actually have the perfect thumbnail for my video. And if you guys don't know, thumbnails are one of the most important things for YouTube, and it's something that I'm not very great at, that I'm working on. And the final benefit about the shape and size of this camera is actually the weight. This camera is the lightest between all the competitors. Weight is a huge, I can't stress that enough, factor when it comes to motovlogging. And that is because, bro, if you're wearing this helmet, these helmets are designed to be very aerodynamic, very light, and that's done for a reason, because it really starts to add strain on your neck and it makes the ride not as enjoyable and uncomfortable over time. Especially when you're rocking a helmet that is designed to be super lightweight, you're totally messing with the aerodynamics and the balance of this helmet, and you feel that. So having the lightest, most compact shape and size helps a lot more than you guys think. So I can't stress that enough. I've talked about that in a lot of videos, but trust me, the weight of these cameras matter a lot. And that's one of the reasons why I'm so obsessed with the Action 5 Pro from DJI, is because it's by far the smallest and highest quality. Gotta give the fans what they want, right? Look at this. It is a busy day here in Hollywood. La La Land. See, moments like this, I'm like, I should have been in 360 mode and not the single lens mode, because I would be able to capture a lot more. Now that I've given you guys a little tour of the Hollywood Walk of Fame, talk to you guys about the specs and why I like this camera personally. Now we're gonna go to the Hollywood sign and I'll show you guys these two cameras, and we're gonna do comparisons, shooting them both in 360 modes and in single lens modes, so you guys can see the difference in quality for yourselves at the Hollywood sign, one of the most iconic spots in the world. There she is, the Hollywood sign. Good. Here we are filming with both the Insta 360 and the Osmo 360. Side to side comparison for you guys to see. This way you guys can judge for yourselves which camera is better. Well, now the Hollywood sign is getting a little bit covered.
This, ladies and gentlemen, is your DJI Osmo 360 versus Insta360 X5 review. I told you my camera of choice and why I chose it, and I got all type of footage for you guys so you guys can decide for yourselves which one you like better. Make sure you click the link down in the description below, get yourself the DJI Osmo 360, the brand new 360 camera, the new current leader, in my opinion, in the 360 industry, and treat yourself for some awesome cinematic footage. Don't forget to drop a like, subscribe. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out and ride safe.